Today we're taking a look at all of the technology inside the new 2019 Audi A8L, and there's a lot to talk about, so let's dig right into it. Now, if you're a long-term Audi file, or at least someone who's been paying attention to their cars for a while, you'll notice that one of the big things missing from the console here is Audi's MMI Controller. That's because we've moved to a two-screen touchscreen interface for the 2019 model year. So the top screen is the main event. It's where most of your infotainment stuff happens. And you'll notice that the home screen is a little bit different from the sort of circle of icons that we controlled with the knob. Now we've got this grid of icons that's very smartphone-like that puts all of the functions right here at your fingertips. And it's also very customizable. So you can tap and hold any icon, much like you can on a smartphone, and move it in the order that you like. Now we've got this shortcut bar that's closest to the driver that's always visible, and that's where you can put the 5 or so icons that you most commonly access. So if, for example, like me, you really use Android Auto a lot, you can grab that icon and put it down at the bottom. Maybe you use phone calls, or maybe you don't use the phone and you prefer vehicle settings. You can put all of that right there, and it'll always be available no matter where in the interface you are. Now along the top of the screen, there's a status bar that's very smartphone-like. It's got things like the time, your smartphone signal strength, and the signal strength of the built-in 4G LTE connection. But if you tap that, it slides down, again, like a smartphone or tablet, and gives you quick access to things like driver profiles, connectivity for things like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth management, as well as a shortcut to the settings. So you'll notice that if I put my hand on the radio icon or the phone icon, it will sort of select those things, but it won't take me onto that screen. And that's because I have to deliberately push the screen in a little bit like a button, and I get a little bit of a haptic click. That means that while I'm driving around, if I just sort of reach for the screen and I accidentally touch something, I don't end up in a menu I didn't expect to. And it also means I get a nice tactile click and a vibration in my fingertip when I press the button, that you can kind of hear if you listen. It's nice. But what about this lower screen? The lower screen is primarily where you interact with your climate controls and seat controls. So if you tap the seat icon, it'll bring up controls for things like the massage settings, really granular seat positioning settings, as well as the ability to adjust the temperature of your seat. The lower screen is also where you'll input things for searching for destinations. So you go into the search screen and it turns into this, and you just type it out with your fingers. It's very good at recognizing how you write letters. You don't have to write them in any particular way, or you can write them one letter at a time. You can write the whole word, or you can just write them on top of each other like this. B-E-L-L. Now you probably couldn't have read that at the end of it, but the computer figured it out. It's really cool. The bottom screen is also home to some shortcuts for things like some driver aid systems, some of the window controls, as well as shortcuts that you can customize for contacts and destinations that you access frequently. Now in front of me, we have the newest generation of the Audi Virtual Cockpit. It's the system that we've seen on plenty of Audi vehicles at this time that allow us to do all sorts of things like viewing maps, contacts, audio sources, vehicle information. You can also customize it to do a full screen map or show these large gauges if you like. It's basically the same system that we've loved made better, because the screen resolution is a little bit higher and the responsiveness is a little bit snappier, so it should feel more like physical gauges as you drive around. However, some of the coolest features in this 2019 Audi A8L are in the back seat. So if you'll join me back there, let's get a little more comfortable and I'll explain. Now every A8 that we get in the States is going to be an L, a long wheelbase model, which means there's going to be plenty of leg room on the second row. But we have the executive package, which means that in addition to this large center console armrest in the back, we also have the ability to recline both of these back seats with massage function. Heck, I can even push the front seat forward, drop down an ottoman, and enjoy a foot massage from massagers that are built into the back of the front passenger seat. That's really nice. Now you control all of this with a tablet that pops out of the center console. It's wireless, and it gives you access to everything from redundant controls for the various media and audio sources that are available throughout the MMI system, as well as the ability to control the seat massagers, the lights, the blinds in the car. So I can pop into the massage setting right here in the seat and adjust for a stretching massage on my back. And then I can pop into the lighting menu and aim the LED matrix lights in the roof exactly where I want them to be so that I can read. Or if I wanted to, I can just pop that in where it's going to charge and always be ready and enjoy these two displays that are mounted on the backs of the front seats. Now they're touch sensitive and feature a redundant menu similar to the rest of the MMI system that gives you, again, control of a lot of the media sources throughout the car. But if you swipe over, you'll find that they're also fully fledged and web connected Android tablets. So you can pop into the Play Store and install Netflix, or maybe even install YouTube and watch some roadshow videos on the go. So there's been your look at all of the technology inside of the 2019 Audi A8L, but let me tell you, there's almost as much tech underneath this car as there is inside of it. So check our full review over on theroadshow.com for even more details about what it's like to actually drive this thing. Now, one of the cool things about having a YouTube player in the back of an Audi A8L is that I can actually reach up here and like, comment, and subscribe. So I suggest you do the same on whatever browser you're looking at for even more cool roadshow videos.